Well, welcome to today's deep dive. If you're a school owner or a principal or an academic coordinator listening to us today, we're going to look at something that is probably a hidden bottleneck in your school.
Yeah, it's one of those things that quietly undermines academic standards across the board.
Exactly. We're talking about handwriting. But, our mission today isn't just to tell you to ask kids to write neatly. We've got a fantastic stack of sources here, and we're going to unpack the profound ripple effects of handwriting on a school's academic standards.
And we'll be exploring how a structured curriculum, specifically one called Writewiz, can actually transform this from, well, a daily struggle into a school-wide strength.
Right. Because, imagine a student sitting for a Class 12 board exam. They've studied for months, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
They know every single answer on that physics paper. The knowledge is just locked in their brain, ready to go. But when the results come out, they've lost crucial marks.
And it's not because they didn't understand the concepts.
Exactly. It's simply because their hand physically could not keep up with their mind. They couldn't finish the paper, or, their answers were just so illegible, the examiner couldn't read them.
Which is devastating. We tend to treat academic performance as an engineering problem. If a student fails a maths test, we say, oh, they don't understand fractions, and we build a remediation plan for fractions.
Right, clean diagnosis.
Yeah. But when the breakdown happens in the physical transmission of that knowledge, when the handwriting itself is the barrier, we treat it as a character flaw.
We just tell them to try harder.
Exactly. Try harder or write neatly, completely ignoring the real cognitive and motor crisis happening.
So before we look at solutions, we really need to understand the actual damage poor handwriting does. Let's start at the school level.
Well, at the school level, inconsistent handwriting is just a quiet plague. You have an obvious drop in notebook quality, which parents notice immediately.
Oh, for sure.
But the really hidden cost is the immense daily stress it places on your teaching staff. Imagine a teacher sitting down with, say, 40 long-form essays.
Right.
If a student's script is inconsistent or cramped, that teacher is instantly forced out of evaluating mode and into deciphering mode.
It's like they become archaeologists, essentially,
Yeah.
sifting through ruins trying to reconstruct what the student meant.
That's a perfect way to put it. And that archaeology takes immense time. It dramatically increases the teacher's correction time.
And I imagine it weakens the feedback they can give, right?
Oh, absolutely. A teacher can't offer nuanced feedback on a student's historical analysis if they are struggling just to read the words. Over time, this leads to unfinished examination papers, frustrated teachers, and a measurable drop in school-wide academic standards.
Wow. And if the teacher is exhausted just reading it, think about the student actually producing it. The sources are incredibly clear on the psychological toll this takes.
It's huge. Poor handwriting causes immense frustration, embarrassment, and a real compounding reduction in a child's confidence.
Yeah, because they look around the classroom, they see their peers producing neat work, and they feel inadequate.
And when a child feels inadequate every time they pick up a pencil, they develop a profound reluctance to write at all.
Which explains so much. That's why some kids are incredibly articulate in class discussions, but hand in like two-sentence answers for homework.
Exactly. It's not a lack of knowledge. The physical act of writing causes actual writing fatigue. Their work slows down to a crawl.
It's basically a bad telephone connection. The brilliant ideas are there, but the message gets lost in transmission, and everyone just ends up frustrated.
Precisely. It masks their true knowledge during exams because they simply cannot express what they know clearly or quickly enough.
But let me push back on this for a second. If the problem is this severe, why haven't traditional copybooks fixed it? Isn't handwriting just a simple mechanical skill? Why can't we just give them a copywriting book and say, hey, go practice?
Because that approach fundamentally misunderstands what handwriting actually is. Neat copying alone is not handwriting mastery.
Wait, really? What is it then?
Handwriting is a highly complex orchestration. It requires seamless coordination between the brain, the eyes, and the fingers. It's not just a tracing exercise.
So it's much more involved than just matching shapes on a page.
Oh, vastly more. It involves physical posture, movement, specific letter formation, spacing, alignment, rhythm, memory, thinking, and speed.
Wow. So it's a multifaceted cognitive and motor skill.
Exactly. And recognizing it as a complex cognitive and motor skill requires a completely different approach, which is where a program like Writewiz comes in.
Right. And the sources highlight Writewiz specifically. So what actually is Writewiz? Because it's not just a short course, is it?
No, not at all. It is a structured, research-informed, school-wide handwriting curriculum and implementation program.
So it's not just a neatness exercise.
Definitely not. Its core objectives are to systematically develop legibility, speed, automaticity, and writing stamina, and most importantly, the application of these skills across all subjects in high-pressure examinations.
Okay, so how does it actually do that? Because taking a child from a struggling beginner to a confident exam taker sounds like a massive leap.
It is, which is why Writewiz uses three distinct, developmentally appropriate phases of progression.
Let's break those down. What's the first one?
The first is the foundation phase, which covers the early years, from LKG to Class 2.
Okay, so the really young kids, what are they focusing on?
The focus here is on finger readiness, basic strokes, and patterns. They work heavily on posture, grip, control, and accurate letter construction.
That makes total sense. You have to fix the mechanics of the tool, like how they hold the pencil, before you can build anything else.
Exactly. Once that foundation is solid, they move into phase 2, which is the fluency phase. This covers classes 3 to 5.
And what shifts in this phase?
Here, the focus moves to letter families, managing spacing, alignment, and creating connections. They move from words to full sentences.
I notice in the sources there's a big cognitive leap here, too.
Yes, this is where students transition into visual writing, auditory writing, and cognitive writing.
Right, so visual writing is like copying from a board, auditory is taking dictation, and cognitive is actually composing original thoughts while writing.
Spot on. It systematically trains the brain to handle higher cognitive demands without the handwriting falling apart.
Which brings us to the crucial upper grades, phase 3.
Yes, the academic and examination phase covering classes 6 to 12. By this point, the curriculum aggressively targets speed writing and board copying.
And this is where it gets highly specialized, right?
Right.
Because they have to apply those to actual subjects.
Exactly. It focuses on subject-specific presentation. We're talking about mathematics, essays, derivations, and equations.
So it's even teaching them how to lay out a complex physics equation so it's readable.
Yes, and diagram labeling, margins, indentation, and overall answer paper presentation under exam conditions.
That is incredible. And you know what else I found fascinating in the sources? The evolution of the paper itself.
Oh, the paper progression is brilliant.
Yeah. It aligns perfectly with their developmental stage. It progresses students from large 4-line writing to optimal 4-line sheets.
And as their spatial awareness improves, they move to 2-line sheets, removing some of the visual crutches.
Right. And then to single-line sheets. And eventually, they master blank sheet writing according to whatever their grade requires.
Exactly. It systematically weans them off the guidelines until they can write perfectly on a blank page, which is what board exams demand.
So if a school implements this, it's going to have a huge ripple effect. It doesn't just help the child. It really transforms the entire educational ecosystem. Let's look at the stakeholders. What about the schools and the leaders?
For school leaders, it creates one shared handwriting standard across all classes, sections, and academic years.
Which means no more relying on the random chance of a teacher having good handwriting.
Precisely. It improves notebook standards and presentation across the board. It builds a much stronger academic culture, which massively boosts parent confidence.
And for the teachers. We talked about their stress earlier.
They get a huge lifeline. They receive specialized training, clear demonstration and correction methods, and a fully prepared curriculum.
So it's not just an extra chore added to their plate.
No, and the biggest win for teachers is a massive reduction in the burden of repeated corrections. Their grading becomes much faster and far less frustrating.
And obviously, the students gain clearer formation, better speed, confidence, stamina, and truly exam-ready writing. But what about the parents?
Well, parents are going to see visible, structured progress. This results in far less conflict over handwriting practice at home.
But I imagine parents might initially be a bit skeptical, right? They might just view Writewiz as, oh, just another book we have to buy.
That is a very natural initial perception, but that changes rapidly once parents witness the organized teaching and consistent correction.
Right, when they actually
Yeah.
see the results.
Exactly. When they see improved student confidence, stunning notebooks, and vastly clearer examination writing, they immediately understand the value.
So why does Writewiz succeed where, say, a sporadic effort by a well-intentioned teacher fails? What are the mechanics of its success?
It succeeds because of its robust framework. It's the structured progression, the specialized teacher training, and dedicated classroom implementation.
It's not left to chance.
Never. It involves regular practice, monitoring, revision, assessment, and reinforcement. And crucially, it focuses on the transfer of these skills into everyday subject writing.
And there's a vital distinction here that the sources make, the difference between a habit and an illusion.
Yes, there is a big difference between early, visible improvement, which you get quickly with neat copying, and building a lasting habit with automaticity.
Because that automaticity requires the structured repetition and monitoring that Writewiz provides, right?
Absolutely. Without that structure, the neatness vanishes the second the child is under pressure.
Which brings us to the ultimate question for any educational leader listening today. Can Writewiz truly bring a meaningful change to a school?
To give a balanced answer, the results depend entirely on faithful implementation by the school and its teachers.
Right, you can't just buy it and expect a miracle.
Exactly. But Writewiz provides the exact curriculum, training, progression, and support needed to create that lasting school-wide improvement. The school just has to commit to it.
I love that. And I want to leave you, our listeners, with a final thought to mull over today. Consider how many brilliant insights, correct math solutions, and beautiful essays have been lost simply because a brilliant student's hand couldn't keep up with their mind.
It really is a profound loss of potential.
It is. Which is why we want to end today's deep dive with this exact sentiment. Writewiz does not merely ask children to write neatly. Writewiz teaches them how to write clearly, fluently, and confidently throughout their school journey.